Fear not, citizens, hope has arrived because we are back with more My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Of course, joining me as always is my great friend Isaac Wolf, and I'm your host today, Michael Thomas. We're talking My Hero Vigilantes episodes 35, Rescue, and episode 36, Merchandise. Isaac, did you know My Hero Academia Vigilantes is ending in like a week or two?
It feels weird, especially since we are not even close to the finish lines with this book.
We are not, but that makes it kind of fun. We have an end game, right? We're what,
We're in the
almost
end
a
game
hundred
now.
chapters away from where it ends.
Uh, yeah, so we
So
have a lot of episodes to go before we. This is a series that and although whenever if when it gets a anime adaptation, that's a different story.
I know, right? It'll be so funny watching the anime just breeze through everything. It took us like a year to get through.
Wouldn't it be kind of funny if the the first season of a potential My Hero Academia Vigilante adaptation would start right before we release our last episode of the manga?
Hey, we're ahead of the curve then, right?
Yeah, I mean that timing would just be perfect.
That would be hilarious. Fingers crossed it happens because I'd watch that anime. Not gonna lie,
Yeah,
it's a great series.
same. I was just I was just thinking about the general idea because that would be something that would happen for us.
Yeah,
I feel.
that's our luck. That's our luck. I still, we're covering manga. I still think Brandon needs to start a Chainsaw Man manga series here, but that's a story for another day. Um, so we last left off. Pop, the Crawler, and Tsukuichi are helping Fat Gum with this villain. We're following the speedster villain, which I think is crazy. By the way, guys, spoilers for chapters 35 and 36. The series is over. You shouldn't get mad at us for spoilers, but I'm just putting it out there if you're going through it like us too. There you go. So is this our first like pure speedster? Is it? I may have asked you this in our last episode. It was so long ago, but like to have somebody whose quirk is just pure speed, no engines, no like one for all is just making your bones and everything around the gravity around you stronger. It's just like the Flash, like super speed, right? It's kind of crazy.
I don't think we have even seen it in the original My Hero Academia. Honestly,
Yeah,
I think this is the first in this franchise altogether. Granted, I haven't seen were a while since I saw all three movies uh, back to back, so to speak. But as far as my memory serves me right, this is the first regarding a speedster villain in this franchise.
yeah, same. And it's interesting in pure My Hero fashion. The speedster has a limit. Like the Flash doesn't really have a limit. Quicksilver in the comics doesn't really have like a weakness. It's interesting how this guy can only do it in like bursts, and he has to stall for time, which I think is pretty cool. Um, so we're kind of resolving this plot with Pop Step. She's still in this mech, and our boy Koichi did his best getting there. He finally got that All Might hoodie that he desperately needs to give him strength, but he
I
doesn't know
mean,
how to get her out.
if you need a placebo effect, good for the kid.
Yeah, but if that's the case, shouldn't he just wear the hoodie all the time then, instead of like now in the situation getting caught without an All Might hoodie?
No
And it's just
argument there, bud. No argument there.
like he should pull like a Superman or a Spider Man where it's just under his
Yeah,
clothes.
yeah.
Right.
Wait, wrong franchise.
So we have Fat running through, trying to help out. I love how this girl's quirk she can, like we learned in the last couple chapters, she has like the scissor power, and so she's been using her hands, but then she uses her legs, which feels like a dirty joke waiting to happen.
I mean, unlike the original, I know that this is not going PG-13, but I would argue that there has been more times than one that Vigilantes has been been hornier than its main counterpart.
So she frees Pop.
Am I wrong?
I mean, yeah, she frees Pop Step with the power of scissoring. Good grief,
That
man.
just, I mean, that just sounds wrong out of context.
I mean, even in context, that's my point of like, this is just ridiculous. I love it, but it is ridiculous. And it's funny because we didn't think about it until she started using her legs. Her using her hands, we didn't think anything about it. That's how funny it is. It's like it was there in our face the entire time.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
It's really funny.
But I can. So I
Yes.
take it as you agree with me that that Vigilantes has been hornier than its main counterpart.
I mean, it's kind of hard to out horny Horikoshi, but yes, it has. Never forget the bathhouse scene in My Hero Academia. That was peak horniness right there.
Oh, yeah, good point.
But this is horniness per page is way higher in this book than My Hero Academia.
This is a weird conversation about Shonen Jump manga, but then again, it's us two, so.
I mean, I kept trying to progress the conversation, but you kept pulling me back here, man.
This is me we're talking about. Are you really that surprised?
So Fat Gum has everything under control. He leaps into action, covering the robot, absorbing the explosion, and reminding us how awesome Fat Gum is. Even though he's like his hero rank is like what? He's not even in like the top 30, which is insane to me.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just so funny because you really don't think about it, but he is when you see him when he's in his fat gum form, so to speak. But that dude is yacked when he's not quote unquote fat gum.
Yes, that's what makes Fat Gum such a great character. To me, is like he absorbs it, and then you just see low fat, which I think is so funny. He's ripped, and he has to be, and I think that's what makes his quirk really cool. Is that you underestimate how strong and powerful that guy really is. Um, also love how the shop owner or the stand owner keeps messing up, like letting Pop Step and Koichi leave. It's just too funny to me, even though they're witnesses to what happened. I do think it's a bit of interesting melodrama. I want your opinion on it, like how they leave their card and it's to Tsukuichi's sister. That causes a little bit of drama, right? We have to assume.
Yeah, probably. No, scratch probably. More than likely.
Definitely. More than likely. Like, do you think? I know it's been a minute since we started this volume, this arc. Do you think this was a decent conclusion to that? And specifically 35 Rescue?
I actually think so. It fits
Cool.
the whole ending of the all quite well, and I have to admit, them sleeping in the train when they go back home is. It will feel sound weird, I know, but it's kind of cute.
Not weird at all, my friend. Not weird at all. It's adorable. I have to keep like resetting my expectations for vigilantes. It's not that it's disappointing. It's that these are street level heroes, and it's always going to be, at least for right now, street level problems. And so it's like that's it. It was just a random speedster we dealt with. That's a little disappointing. But also, you got to remember everything's not going to be all for one and blah 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 blah. So street level heroes, street level problems. I'm glad that at least through 36 chapters, they've kind of kept the stakes lower until they eventually get their shonen glow ups and end up having to fight aliens or whatnot.
And go all rocky on them.
Yep. So this leads us into episode or chapter 36, simply titled Merchandise. And I love the bit where Koichi is basically just being Darkwing Duck. I am the man who facilitates compromise or being at eye level. It's something Darkwing Duck would say.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's a homage to Darkwing Duck, honestly.
He's done it so much now to where I feel like it has to be the joke, right? Where he says, I am something extremely lame, the crawler.
Yeah, like I said, it just feels like it's a reference more slash parody to something. And now that you mentioned Darkwing Duck, yeah, that's probably it.
I am the terror that quacks in the night. Yeah, same. It's the same deal. So, I do think it's interesting how he's using his clinging to walls, and for folks who are caught up with the My Hero Academia anime, I think it's funny how our two protagonists are like having up Spider-Man's powers. Deku has the webs. Koichi has the sticks to walls power. Funny.
So essentially, Koichi is Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and Deku is Tom Holland Spider-Man.
One is in college and the other's in high school. Yeah, it checks out.
I mean, especially since the other one can't crawl on walls like the other one can.
I mean, not to derail the conversation into the minutia of Spider-Man's powers, but Tom Holland does climb walls.
Yeah. I misremembered one part of it. That's the big change. Yeah, never mind.
You mean the weird scene in the first Spider-Man movie where we see like the weird tendril things come out of Tobey Maguire's fingers?
I was talking about his organic webs, yes, and what? Okay. That this is off the rails already.
Yeah, I expect no less from us at this point. Everybody listening at this, they know the drill. We're going to sit here and say we're going to talk about My Hero Vigilantes chapter 36, but in reality, we're going to be talking about the differences between Spider-Man and Spider-Man Homecoming. That's what the people really want.
I was more thinking about if we're talking about how the other thing sounds weird off topic, talking about organic webbing.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole nother issue. I don't like to think about the organic webbing. It's terrifying. I don't know why they made that change. Anyway, Koichi gets the crap slapped out of him because he is a meddler. He's trying to be a hero, but he is just getting into situations over and over that result in him getting slapped by villains, by civilians, everything. He's just overall annoying. And Pop doesn't know how to tell him. It's kind of funny.
I mean, maybe he should try and become a diplomat instead of a hero, because he looks like he tries more to talk than do actions or whatever you want to call it.
It's funny because he's not great at the talking thing, but he's also not great at the fighting thing. So he's just kind of, eh.
He's he has he don't have Well, it just proves that they don't have that much of a social skills, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. Which leads us in, which is funny you mentioned his social skills, because that leads us into the next chapter here, right? It's or the next storyline, and it's the Naru Fest. They're trying to come up with merchandise, so Pop is leading the charge
Noro
on that.
Fest. We were so close of not having a Naruto reference in a My Hero related episode. We
You
were
see,
so close.
but that's not our fault. That's the manga itself. So they're self aware, right?
Yeah,
We didn't bring
kinda.
up Naruto.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, we did now. So, oh my gosh, it was a setup. It was a trap.
Agreed. It was always a trap.
So it's cute, more slice of life stuff. Them coming up with merchandise ideas to the teammates flirting, blah blah blah. And then Cyclops and Wolverine show up, but this time Cyclops is actually wearing the visor. It's hilarious.
I mean, they had to be a JoJo slash X-Men parody reference. Those two. I would be shocked if they are not.
I mean, again, My Hero Academia, both proper and vigilantes, love making references. We just got done spending like 5 minutes talking about Darkwing Duck of all things. So this could be a reference to JoJo's. That's easy. I mean, look at his
The
lips in
clothes,
this first panel
yeah,
here. He shows up.
the clothes looks like Yo-Yo, and the face and visor and all that makes me think of Wolverine and Cyclops.
Yeah, the quirks too. It's just really, really great. And I just love how they're trying to come up with the ideas of their merchandise. And then you just have Koichi yelling about his freaking All Might hoodies.
And he thinks they are doing All Might hoodies, but it's ending up being Captain Celebrity hoodies, which
Which
is
makes it's a funny twist at the end of the story. But I think it works because that's totally what would happen, right? You're yelling about
yeah,
hoodies, and she comes in and she's like, "Cool, hoodies, great. Captain Celebrities, the guy sponsoring this thing. We're gonna make celebrity hoodies." It's just
it makes
really
sense.
stupid.
And it makes sense why they would make, like you said, that's the reason why it made sense that they would do Captain Celebrity hoodies. It's not All Might that's sponsoring that show.
Which is funny because All Might, especially at this point in time, we're like, I'd say a year or two before the main story. So All Might probably is going to be in town very soon, looking for a successor. So it's kind of funny the
Yeah,
timing of all the All Might merch.
yeah, I can agree on that regard.
So again, this chapter, not a lot's going on here. It's playing off of the what we had in the previous storyline, right? Where you remember Koichi's going all around town looking for an All Might hoodie because he can't fight villains without it. And so it's just kind of funny how it comes to a head here, and it's played for laughs because everybody roasts him about it. How do you feel about like this chapter in general though? Because it's very slice of life, no action, and I've noticed that it's kind of been a pattern with vigilantes where we're kind of alternating between action scenes and slice of life scenes even more than My Hero Academia does, and My Hero is kind of famous for that.
I mean, it's a much more street-related show, so it makes sense why it would have more slice of life moments than what My Hero Academia has.
True.
They are more street level here. The more My Hero Academia is more. I don't want to say fantastical, but you get the idea.
Yeah, I mean, Deku is always looking for a fight, not in a I want to go beat people up, but like him working at Night Eye's agency or him working with Endeavor, he's always going to be put in or fantastic situations. Whereas Koichi has to walk upon it in his everyday life. And if All Might is doing his job, that shouldn't happen very often.
Exactly.
So yeah, I get it, and that's an interesting way. I didn't really think about that until you mentioned it, but that's a really interesting quirk that they built into the lore of this spinoff of everything's fine, it's peaceful because All Might's still around.
Yeah. Which which is why slice of life makes sense. I argue.
For sure. For sure. Both of these were really cute. I enjoyed wrapping up the stuff with Fat Gum. I enjoyed kind of leading in to the next big story arc. In this chapter, more slice of life stuff is great. And I read ahead of you by a couple chapters. So the next two are pretty fun too. I can't wait for you to check those out in our next recording. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about, Isaac?
Not that I can think of.
Neat. Well, guys, if you want to hear us talk more about the Spider-Man's powers, you could probably make that an episode of the chatter after. That's where Isaac and I are every other week talking movies and other TV stuff, not manga or anime related. Here, though, make sure you follow us at the Amateur Otaku Pod on Twitter and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you guys don't miss any more of our amazing anime and manga coverage. Kaiju number 8, Doran. We're doing My Hero Academia proper. We're doing Spy Family. We have so much stuff here for you guys. So make sure you subscribe. Isaac, is there anything else you'd like to plug for the people? Let them know where to find you.
Well, you can find my work at Wolverine Entertainment, and you can find me at Emblomania account with that.
Sweet. You can find me at Novice Cinephile everywhere, but specifically youtube.com/Novice Cinephile, where I have a bunch of videos, almost 100 videos now over on that channel. So stay tuned if you want to check out anything there and subscribe. And until next time, go beyond.
Plus,